Hello everyone, this is Joel Davis with YouAreTheBroker.com, helping you to build a highly effective and highly profitable broker business. I know so many of you are eager to build multiple sources of revenue to further build your empire. Can't compliment you enough. We thank you all for your inquiries and your questions and your interest. I know, again, so many of you are interested in becoming a broker, which is great, but you want to learn more information. So what I did, and we have a lot of videos on our YouTube channel, so I definitely encourage you to go through, spend some time watching a lot of them, read a lot of the newsletters I send out. But I asked my team, I said, give me the top 5 questions that are the most common so I can answer them. Some of them I've answered before in previous videos, so again, go back and watch those videos. But they couldn't come up with just the top 5, so they actually gave me a little bit more. They gave me the top 6, plus a couple of these questions are kind of twofold, so you're getting 2 for questions, 2 for 1. So let's go ahead and dive into the first question, which is, what is the difference between Amazon delivery and our broker business? And this is a great question because we get a lot of people who are doing the Amazon delivery route and they realize it's kind of like the rideshare business. You can make a little bit of money, but the word making is a relative term. What's making money? I mean, are you making $1,000 a week, $1,000 a month, $10,000? What's making? Making is a very relative term. So I would kind of, based upon the feedback and the questions and the interest that we're getting from so many people who are actually working for the Amazon delivery, I would kind of equate it to like the ride share. Yeah, you're out there, you're making a little bit of money, but you're grinding out your own car at your own expense. And at the end of the day, how much money are you really left with? So understand clearly, what is the difference between Amazon delivery and our broker business? The business model that I teach you in being a broker is to literally leverage existing contractors with their own assets so you don't carry those overhead expenses. Now, I clearly and I openly admit to everybody, when I first started my business several years ago, back in late 2011, really throughout 2012, I actually owned a box truck. By the end of 2012, I owned 3 box trucks with this mini cruise, and yeah, I was making money, but my margins were closer to about 12%, whereas now they're closer to 30% because everything is outsourced to contractors. Everyone that works for us is a 1099 contractor. So the business model I teach you is really geared towards how to put yourself in a position to have these contractors that you're outsourcing everything to, so you're not carrying those overhead expenses. Furthermore, the price points couldn't be more different. I mean, there's such a stark difference between doing something like the Amazon delivery or rideshare where there's smaller price points. I will give you some quick numbers. In 2017, our average delivery was $101.36. I'll say that again. So this isn't like Amazon delivery or a rideshare service where your nickels and dimes you really need to add up. The business model that I teach you is focused in on our deliveries in 2017. Our delivery average was $101.36. In 2018, our delivery average was $99.52. So in 2017, it was 101.36. In 2018, it was 99.52. And our first quarter of 2019, our delivery average was 105.65. So $105.65 through quarter 1 of 2019. And again, if you've been following us and you're subscribed to our newsletter, obviously I share our numbers to you quarterly. Now, express moves, and again, I love talking about delivery and express moves because those are our 2 strongest sources of revenue. Our express moves in 2017, our price point averaged $398.74. $398.74. In 2018, it averaged $298.47. So it averaged about a $100 difference, but our volume was significantly higher. So, but as of the end of quarter 1 for 2019, our express move was averaging $318.74. So in 2017, it was $398.74. In 2018, it was 298.47, and after quarter one of 2019, our express move was averaging 318.74. So in 2017, 64% of our revenue was comprised of deliveries and express moves. It bumped up to 69%. In 2018, our deliveries and express moves comprised 69% of our total revenue. And after quarter one of 2019, deliveries and express moves comprised 72%. I would definitely expect that to kind of come down a little bit more because, again, in quarter one, you're coming through the early part of the year. Now we're heading into the moving season, much greater volume for deliveries and services and other services that we'll be providing. So I would expect those numbers for 2019 to definitely continue to fluctuate. But regardless, you could see a stark difference between a business model where you own and operate everything for like a rideshare service or an Amazon delivery, where you're on the grind and you grind out and you just wear out your own equipment and you're carrying all the overhead expenses, versus being your own broker where you outsource everything and your margins go from something like 12% that I experienced in the first few years of my business when I owned everything, versus now where we're closer to the 29, 30, and 31%. So again, our price points couldn't be more different. You're talking about nickels and dimes adding up for rideshare and Amazon delivery versus something like here 101, 100, and 105 for our price point average for deliveries. So I think you'll see there's a clear difference in the business model and the strategies and the tactics that we use for something as compared to an Amazon delivery or a rideshare service versus what we're doing with our broker business. Next common question: how much money can I make and how long does it take for me to make money? That's entirely up to you. I'm going to put forth all of the necessary information for you to learn. And also, if you, again, read through the website, watch our videos, read a lot of the newsletters, you're going to see part of your enrollment investment includes 1 full year of one-on-one coaching with one of my regional directors. So in my business, I have 6 regional directors. 5 of them work with us specifically with the youarethebroker.com business model. So one of my regional directors they are literally working in my broker business. My broker business operates in 5 states. So these 5 people, they help me make money. One of them is going to be personally working with you as a personal coach to help you. So again, going back to your question of how much money can you make, it's entirely up to you and how much you're willing to work and how quickly. Your second part of your question is, how long does it take? Again, that's entirely up to you. We have a lot of licensees who started last year. They're already making money. In fact, one of our licensees, I just recently went through his P&L. He launched as of the first of this year, and after his quarter one, which was awesome, his numbers were at 31%, 31.3 or 4% margin, which is great. So he's at 31% margin, which kind of mirrors where we're at, because last year I think we were at, without looking at my numbers, I think we were closer to 29% margin. In 2017, we were at 30% margin. So this licensee, who I just looked through his numbers for his Q1 numbers, he's right there mirroring what we're doing in my broker business, which is awesome. So that's definitely a testament that it supports this business model, that it can be duplicated and scalable by other licensees. But again, there's so many variables associated with the question of how much money can I make? How soon can I make it? There's so many variables associated with those loaded questions, because do you own any other existing businesses? Because a lot of our licensees come from the non-emergency medical transportation background, restaurant franchises, a lot of other businesses, which is great. So if you are distracted with your other business, if you're having to split time, are you going full time with your broker business, which would be great. This is not a complicated business, so I definitely encourage you to sink in, dive in, and just dig your teeth into this opportunity, because again, I'm living testament that you can make a lot of money with this. So again, I wish I could give you a specific time. You're going to be making money in 6 months, in 5 months, in 4 months, in 8 months. I can't answer that because there's so many variables associated with you, your level of motivation, any other possible distractions, and not just business, maybe family obligations, job-related obligations. I don't know. So, but I would tell you this is not a complicated business by any stretch of the imagination, but I would also caution you, as I've always said before, what you don't know can hurt you. So a lot of people, a lot of the freebie experts out there will take a lot of the free stuff online and just try to cut and paste and put their own business model together. That's where you get caught in a quagmire trying to figure things out on your own. You waste time, money, and effort, and ultimately you're going to be operating outside the confines of our network, and we're trying to build something special with the UDML, the United Delivery Moving Logistics. So we've been working and speaking with a lot of different retailers and corporate clients around the country because our goal is to build a national network that further allows our network to intertwine and become a critical asset to the supply chain management for a lot of these national retailers and corporate businesses. So again, thanks for the great question. I wish I could answer it more directly with specific numbers that after 6 months you're going to be making 100,000 and after a year you're going to be making 500,000. I can't answer that for you because there's so many different variables. So I do hope you understand my inability to answer your question directly. The next great question is, can licensees operate in different locations? Yes, absolutely. We welcome you to. Your licensing agreement is by zip code. So we are going to issue your zip code. It's really geared towards bigger cities because you have to understand, I understand that some of these bigger cities, they have multiple zip codes, and that's great. If we were to issue a single licensee, an entire county, there is absolutely no way one licensee could maximize an entire county. Again, I operate in 5 states right now, and I gotta be honest with you, there's so many places within those 5 states where we don't even scratch the surface. The opportunities are overwhelming, they're abounding, there's many sources of revenue, as I'm gonna continue to reveal to you in our training material, but we just don't have the capacity to literally go after every opportunity. It is what it is. I mean, you only have so much time and so many contractors to manage. I mean, we're managing 50 contractors plus right now, and we still, in certain areas, we're not even scratching the surface. So we issue the licensing agreement per zip code. However, you can go to any other area you want. The last thing we want to do is become involved where we are babysitting or micromanaging any of our licensees. We want you to build and grow, maximize your capacity and your earning potential by all means. Ironically enough, we actually have one licensee who's actually looking to franchise. He's actually looking to franchise his business model to a friend in a completely different state, and I think it's his brother-in-law in a different state. So we've been working with him to develop some strategies that are ideal for him as he further grows his broker business to put himself in a position where he could license out, which would allow him to penetrate new areas, new markets, and further increase his own income. So ultimately, and going back to your great question, yes, you can definitely operate in different locations. We welcome the opportunity to work with you on that, further help you with that, but we don't want to limit you. By issuing licensing agreements per zip code, it gives us some degree of protection for our licensees, especially in the bigger cities, the more urban areas. It gives our licensees a greater degree of protection. But again, the purpose is not in any way to micromanage you, constrict you, restrict you, or to get involved with the micromanaging or babysitting of your business. We want you to build, grow, increase your capacity to the best of your ability, because the more capacity you have, the greater, the more powerful, the more fruitful our entire network. The next great question, is it possible to start by owning a truck and paying employees? I kind of touched upon this a little bit in one of my other questions, but yes, you can. Is it ideal? I guess that's a relative question. Again, when I started in late 2011, and 2012 was my first full year, so I really say that I started in 2012. So in 2012, by the end of that year, I had 3 box trucks with 3 crews, and I was paying for everything. So with that being said, was I making money? Yeah, but we were closer at about 12% margin. Is that bad? No, you could argue it's not. I mean, that's more than many other businesses and other industries, but I knew it wasn't ideal. I knew that I wasn't maximizing our full opportunity. And I knew it was time to really transition to a contractor-based business model. So about 2013 and 14, that's what we were working on doing. So what I teach you with youarethebroker.com, again, I mentioned from the very beginning, if you want to own a box truck because you want to learn every asset of the business, that's fine. Again, that's not a problem, but you're going to upfront that cost. But really the core business model I'm going to teach you is really from my business, from my broker business from 2014 on, because throughout 2014, all the way through to present, everything has been a 1099 contractor-based business model where we outsource everything. And my numbers speak for themselves. I went from close to a 12% profit margin to now closer to a 30% profit margin consistently year in, year out. And that would fluctuate anywhere from, let's say, 29 to 31%. So let's say we're averaging around a 30% margin. And again, as I kind of touched upon in one of my other questions that I answered, which was great in looking at the Q1 P&L for one of our licensees, he came in at just over 31% profit margin. So he's right there. His business model reflects and mirrors the ability to duplicate this broker business. So that I was really pleased to see what his numbers were as well. Because again, he just launched at the beginning of the year, and he's starting out of the gate here pretty quick, which is great. But again, can you start by owning your own box truck and employees? Yes, that's not a problem. I understand your logic of why you'd want to do that, so you can personally learn every intricate detail and facet of the business. I can totally appreciate that, 100%. But understand, the goal is to get you to literally be the broker. A broker is really just that middleman, that person that makes the deals, the negotiator, the team builder, and that's really what I do. And what you will find, and this is truly the unsuspecting best part about this broker business, is that in time you're going to find and discover that your contractors, this business will start to take on a life of its own when your contractors start making more money and they take ownership of the business. Case in point, you talk about how much money you can quote unquote make with this business. And I hate using the word make because it's such a relative term. It's not just about how much money you make, it's also your contractors, because the more money your contractors make, the more enthusiastic they're going to become. Let me give you a quick example. We recently hired a guy who's, I would say, is still working part-time for us because he still works full-time for Lowe's. Now, Lowe's is a great opportunity for us. We've done a lot of deliveries in and out of Lowe's, but it's never been through Lowe's corporate itself. It's always been through the customer. The customer would purchase something, they want us to go pick it up, to do a delivery service. That's great, because when we've solicited Lowe's and Home Depot, they've always wanted us to have employees, and that is contradictory to my business model. And there's a lot more red tape, which again, is not in alignment with the sweet spot that I'm always pursuing for profit margin purposes. So anyway, so we have this new guy that is working full-time for Lowe's, and now he's working part-time for us, and he's loving it, because working part-time for us 2 and 3 days, he's making as much money with us as more than he in almost 2 weeks that he does with Lowe's. So what this underscores, and I understand that it's harder for people to find good quality employees or contractors right now because we're in a great economy. The people are working, they're making more money, that's awesome. But again, if you're building your broker business properly, not only are you going to make a lot more money, so are your contractors. Again, so my contractor, who I guess is making a decent buck out of Lowe's, working full-time, he's making more in 2 or 3 days working with us, because we'll stack him up with deliveries and express moves. He's making more with us than he does in like a week and a half to close to 2 weeks with Lowe's. So he's loving it, which is great. That's why I always say the hardest part is getting your first contractor, because getting your second and third and your fourth, all you have to do is show them how much money another contractor is making. When you can show to a contractor that at the end of the day, yeah, you may be working a 10, 12, 15 hour job, but how long does it take you to make, let's say, $100? And that doesn't, and then remember, because remember, your contractors, they don't just make the commission that you pay them. They also make a lot of money with cash tips. So let's not get it twisted. Your contractors can make a lot of money. Let's say on these work orders that are averaging, let's say, $100. If you're paying 70% commission, that means for every $100 you bring in, you're going to pay them $70. You're going to keep 30 plus. Remember, that contractor, he's going to make a lot of money in tips. A lot of them are going to be cash tips. So with that being said, it's a win-win for not just you, but also for the contractor. So again, and going back to your question, can you own the box truck? Can you own the employees? Yeah, sure. But understand, everything I do and everything I'm going to teach you is how to transition as quickly as possible to a 1099 contractor-based business model, because you're going to make a lot more money, and I promise you, your contractors are going to make a lot more money. They're going to love you. They're going to claim ownership over your business. Because we got some contractors, they don't hand out their own business cards anymore. They only hand out our business cards. They don't reference their own business. They only reference our business, because we've alleviated them from all the nonsensical burden that they used to deal with when they were literally serving their own business as an independent operator. We answer the phones for them. We process payments up front. They get direct deposit each week. They never have to haggle with the customer over money. We are their administrative assistant, as I like to call it. So it's a win-win situation. So employee in a truck, yeah, you could do that. But I'm going to get you as quickly as I can to being a complete 1099 contractor-based business model. Another great question, very common. Do we provide licensees with contracts? Yes and no. We don't provide you with contracts right now. Our hope in the future is, as we build our network through the United Delivery Moving Logistics, that yes, we definitely will. But here's the important point. Here's what's lost in translation with your question. Do we provide you with contracts? I understand a lot of people who may be watching this video online, who somehow stumble across this opportunity. Everyone wants their quick cash. You know, they want that set it and forget it. You know, like you see the stupid commercials and all the scams you see online of, you know, just sit on your couch, watch TV, go to the mailbox and collect checks. Let me tell you something. That's all scam. It's all nonsense. You know it and I know it. So is this business turnkey? Is like as soon as you start and you open the door, we're going to be right there with our hand in front of you, presenting you with a contract, signed contract? No, of course not. Because here's the key thing. It's not about you per se. It's not about the licensee. It's about what you build. That is your asset. You know, we've talked about in previous videos, and again, I encourage you, go back to the YouTube channel, watch a lot of those videos. Okay, your broker business, your network, the network that you build, that is your net worth. I'll say it again. Your network, that's your net worth. So the bigger you build your network, the bigger you're going to be building your net worth. Again, if you've been following a lot of my newsletters, I've been sharing numbers with you guys quarterly, so you can see we're making great money. And our network, as it grows, guess what? Our overall net worth is continuing to increase, which is phenomenal. So what's critical in building your network is your capacity, your number of contractors. Case in point, let's say you live in St. Louis, Missouri, or Little Rock, Arkansas. So if we, the United Delivery Moving Logistics, which is the overall quote-unquote vehicle that we're working to build, that network that we're working to build so that we can present ourselves to a lot of these national retail chains and a lot of these corporate clients, we're presenting ourselves to the United Delivery Moving Logistics, which is a great opportunity. youarethebroker.com is the training system, the platform we're using to teach you this overall broker business. So with all that being said, what's the most critical thing for you is not becoming a licensee. The most critical thing is for you increasing capacity, bringing on contractors, because again, the more capacity, the more contractors you have, it's your network, and the greater your network, the greater your net worth. So again, if you're in a city like St. Louis, Missouri, or Little Rock, Arkansas, any place you want, it's one thing if we went to a national retailer and we said, yeah, we have a licensee in St. Louis, Missouri, or Little Rock, Arkansas. Who cares? No one cares about the licensee. We want to be able to say, hey, we have a licensee in St. Louis, Missouri who has 5 contractors, who has 10 contractors. We have a licensee in Little Rock, Arkansas who has 8 contractors and 20 contractors. That's capacity. The more contractors you have, the more capacity you have. The more capacity you have, the more work we could do, the more attractive we look to national retailers and corporate clients to further integrate and intertwine our service with their supply chain management. So again, take yourself out of the picture of, well, are you going to give me contracts? It's not about you having a contract. It's about what you're building. It's about you building your network. Are there going to be, I promise you, there's going to be a ton of local opportunities that, again, let's pick on St. Louis, Missouri, and Little Rock, Arkansas again. There's going to be a ton of little independent stores and retailers, and I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you how to get that business. Because again, we operate in 5 states, and we get a lot of business from the independent guys, whether it's a furniture store, retail store, corporate client. So I have no impact on that. That's you cultivating it. So again, if you're looking to sit on your couch, eat bonbons, watch TV, you play on Twitter and Facebook, and then just go to your mailbox and collect checks, well, that's an unrealistic business model. But if that's your pipe dream, go after it. This isn't it. So you're going to cultivate a lot of business yourself. Now I'm going to show you specifically a lot of the national retailers that we're already working with in my broker business. And a lot of them are not contract based, because at the end of the day, if it was contract based, a lot of them would want us to actually have employees own the vehicles. And that's something we don't want to do. Again, everything that I teach you is about finding the sweet spot, the most profitable price points in this actual industry. So going back to your great question, do we present you, the licensee, with contracts? Yes and no. We're going to present you with a lot of the retailers that we're already using, and we're going to show you how to go after that business. We're going to help you go after that business. You're going to, as an active licensee, you're going to come under the UDML, the United Delivery Moving Logistics umbrella. So you'll carry our brand. You can put that on your website. You can put that in your literature. That's not a problem. We encourage you to do it. But what's critical is that, again, it's not just about saying in St. Louis, Missouri, or Little Rock, Arkansas, we have a licensee. It's being able to say in St. Louis, Missouri, and Little Rock, Arkansas, we have 5 contractors, 10 contractors, 15 contractors, because that is exponential capacity that's going to be very attractive to national retailers and corporate clients. And the final common question is, why is the enrollment investment so high, and do we accept payment installments? No, we absolutely do not accept payment installments. The last thing we're going to do is share the material, start to invest time in teaching you this business model, bringing you on board, and for whatever reason you default, you can't pay your bills. That's the last thing we're going to do. Bottom line is this: we want people who are already established, who are reliable, proficient, credible business owners who have the ability to go out there and build something special, build that increased capacity. Again, I keep using the word capacity because everything that we're about with using youarethebroker.com training platform to build the UDML, the United Delivery Movement Logistics, is about increasing capacity. As we increase capacity, we look more attractive to national retailers and corporate clients, and that's our objective, and that's our overall goal. So to go to your question, why is the enrollment investment so high? Well, the enrollment investment is $20,000. That includes 1 full year of your one-on-one coaching with one of my regional directors, who is going to be an integral part, a much valued asset in learning this business. It covers all of your training material, all the admin and legal costs. It also includes your first year subscription to all of our software applications, the PC, the apps. Those are absolutely critical for you, because again, as you're building your network, you're increasing capacity, increasing work orders, increasing your number of contractors. There's no way for you to manage this business on any type of a grand scale by doing it manually. It would be foolish to even attempt that. So with that being said, your enrollment investment, if you think that's high, I challenge you, go research any type of a franchise business out there or anything else. This enrollment investment is not high. But if you don't have the money to do this, then realistically, this is just not the business opportunity for you. It is what it is. You know, I know there's a lot of people out there who are skeptical about investing any money into anything. And I can appreciate that. I really do. But I always go back to the four-letter word that's absolutely critical, and it's common yet unique to us all. And that four-letter word is time. Time. T-I-M-E. I encourage you, think about time. How much time have you wasted? How much time are you wasting? How much time will you consider to possibly keep wasting? Time's going to keep clicking. If it's one thing that's common to us all, it's 24/7. We've only got 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, that's it. So it doesn't matter how rich or how poor you are, we all got the same amount of time. Other people make money, some people are smarter, some people have access to new opportunities. I mean, there's a lot of unique variables, but one thing common to us all is time, and time favors no one. So therefore, you need to leverage time. So some of you out there, you've been considering this opportunity. If you want to put it in your head that the enrollment investment is too high, how much have you missed out on between now and when? How much, if you've been watching this for the last year since we first went public with this, how much opportunity have you missed out on? How much will you miss out on a year from now, 5 years from now? Think back, we're in 2019, think back to 2015, 2010. How about, here's a good one I always go back to. Do you remember the Y2K crisis? Everyone was going crazy and they wanted to buy waters and stock up on stuff because they thought the world was going to end in Y2K. Think about that. That was 19 plus years ago. 19 plus years ago. Man, that seems like yesterday. So with that being said, I would encourage you to really consider, how are you maximizing and leveraging time? Look, I can't make you money if you don't want to make money. All I can do is present you with opportunities. If you think this enrollment investment is too high, this opportunity isn't for you. And realistically, if you're still watching this video, I gotta ask why. Because you're wasting time. So at the end of the day, it's either you want to build multiple sources of income, multiple streams of revenue to further increase your net worth and build wealth and build your own empire, which is great, because guess what? Where are you going to be 5 years from now? Where are you going to be 10 years from now? If Y2K was 19 years ago, 19 years ago, Y2K, and everyone's scared that everything was going to blow up with because of the computers and all that kind of good stuff. What about 19 years from now? Y2K seemed like yesterday. Well, tomorrow's going to come pretty quick. What will you have done between now and then? Well, how will you have maximized your time? So if you're holding on to your money, you're waiting for a different opportunity, this is too suspect for you, you're not sure, when squeeze your money, hold on to it, worship it, do whatever you got to do. And 19 years from now, what will you have done with it? What will you have created? What will you have built? That's for you to answer. I can't answer that for you. But again, one thing that you have unique managerial control over, yet it's common to us all, is time. So rather than saying, well, why is the enrollment investment so high? You should be saying, wait a minute, I can get in for $20,000 and I'm going to get all that and I could build that much. That's the perspective I would take. But again, you could say that I'm biased. So be it. I can understand that. I can appreciate that. But realistically, again, when you look at, if you've been following me for any length of time and you've been reading through the newsletters, you've seen the numbers, because I keep sharing a lot of our numbers, not from each quarter as well as annually. They're nothing short of impressive. And again, as we bring on more licensees and they start scaling and duplicating the business, it's definitely impressive. So again, don't look at it like, why is it so high? Do you take payments? It's, can I get into it? And let me assure you of this. This is very important. Let me assure you of this. The last thing we want to do is bring you on and for you not to be successful. The reason why the enrollment investment of $20,000 is because this is not a nickel and dime business. If this was a nickel and dime investment, a nickel and dime business, we could never have an enrollment investment of $20,000. It wouldn't sustain itself. Okay, the reason why you can is because guess what? The opportunity, the business, the earning potential is there, and it's real and it's legitimate. So understand, the last thing we want to do is bring you on board and for you to do nothing with this. Bring you on board and for you not to be successful. Our goal is to get you to green, get you to making cash, getting you to be successful, getting you to making money. So your $20,000 investment, your annual licensing fee is to, again, if the earning potential was not there, this would not be sustainable, but clearly it is. And we want you to be on board, we want you to be involved, and more importantly, we want you to be successful. Again, thank you all for your great questions. We always appreciate it. Once again, I'm long-winded, but I hope you found value in everything. So at the end of the day, continue to send your questions, continue to get involved, continue to dig in, leverage time, leverage time. If you don't leverage time, time is gonna leverage you. So as you leverage time, just remember, I'll see you at the top.